Hi, happy Thursday. Welcome. We are doing a back bending sequence today. So get your squishy Pilates ball and let's get started. It'll be a nice sequence between internal core work, external strength training. It's going to leave you all nice and juicy and opened up. Okay. One of the things I do just want to start with about back bending is one, I'm super back bending. So be in your body, not mine. But also, backbending tends to be one of those things with a lot of fear and like conceptions and ideas wrapped around it. Backbending is excellent work, right? It's needed, right? It gets this extension part of your body woken up again, which is you can kind of see even just by me doing that is like the antithesis of motherhood, right? Everything about motherhood is right here. Everything about our modern lives is right here, and backbending recovers this big open space of the upper body. It is strength training for the back. Okay. So a lot of you have heard me say that forward bending is an abdominal move, right? It's a crunch. That's what your six pack was designed to do. Okay. Equally, back bending is a back strengthening move. You're contracting your back muscles. So you are going to feel your back muscles working. That's different than trying to do core work and feeling your back getting like jacked out, right? You want to be able to use your back muscles in conjunction with the stabilizing forces of your front. Okay. They need to be in a conversation with each other. So we spend a lot of time focused here on the abdominal wall and like isolating and contracting and working it. We also spend a lot of time in our daily lives like this in all forms, babies staring at everything down here. And now we are going to open all of that up and start to pay attention to everything behind you, which is going to kind of like shake up your mind a little bit, right? Proprioception, kind of through the back body gets lost through so much of the journey of motherhood. So let's wake it all up. Okay, that was my preamble. Grab the ball. You're gonna come on to lie on your back. So come on down. Okay. And you're gonna stick that ball up underneath your sacrum. So go ahead and squish it out there for a second. It feels nice and good. And you're just gonna notice like this ostensibly is a back bend, right? My pelvis is lifted, my heart's a little bit open, my ribs are a little bit open. I'm not doing anything though yet, right? I'm just feeling good and getting a little bit of space in my body. So we're gonna just let the pelvis release, let the low back relax. Take your hands down to the hips and groin, kind of feel where things are lying down there. And then go ahead and journey on up and feel your ribs. Kind of notice where the rib cage is today. I also want you to notice how the relationship between your ribs and the fronts of your shoulders is playing out today. Are you like really grippy like this with your shoulders? Kind of are the ribs kind of like fighting it? Are you kind of like fighting a back bend and kind of like trying to tuck underneath yourself? Just information gather for a second and find out where your body is today. Okay, it's cold, it's winter. We're asking for it to open up. Now, feel your shoulder. This is what I just did. Feel the shoulder blades. Kind of let them lie flat. Open your elbows a little more to the side. So what you're going to notice is where your collarbones are lying, kind of where the ribs are lying. And I want you to start to feel this movement in the ribs for a second. Like them pushed up and feel the tension in the back. Dropping them down and kind of feel that like collapse in the back. And then we're going to find the middle ground where the ribs are just a neutral space between the shoulders and the pelvis. Nice big breath in, big breath out, transverse abdominals. It all starts in the middle core. One more, big breath in, transverse abdominals, pelvic corridor. Notice when you turn that on, if anything around here is gripping and pulling you forward. Okay, that's a really common co-contraction, right? So you contract the low core and the shoulders grip around you. Shoulders are staying open, chest is open, you're just isolating your abs. From there, we're gonna brace and you're gonna do your right leg, left leg, right leg, left leg, just marching, right leg. Reset the core when you need to, left leg. So that's the low belly. Now let's go up to the ribs. Big breath, ribs together, shoulders down, deep core engaged, squeeze the ribs, pick up the left leg, pick up the right leg, squeeze the ribs without the shoulders curling forward. Good, one more. Left, right, both knees up, feet dangling for a second. Nice big breath in, find your low core. Find your ribs, shoulders are open. Now, we're actually gonna do a low belly sit up and rotate the pelvis underneath. See what I just did? I'm contracting and rolling under. Okay, so I'm coming away from the back bend a little bit. Big breath, exhaling, and we're gonna kind of do that low belly sit up that rolls the pelvis up and under. I definitely feel my butt and hamstrings gather as well. Here we go. My elbows are still wide. It's helping me balance and stay in working my waist rather than fighting my balance. We have 5, 4, 3. Feel like the ribs are climbing down, the pelvis is rolling up, and the abs are engaging. Last one. And release. Rinse that out a little bit. You're still up here, feet balancing. Now, big breath. Tabletop with the legs. Exhale. Gathering. Now, when my legs start to hinge down towards the ground, I am going into a little bit of a back bend. See that? I'm going to scoop, pull back in. Range of motion is personal. Engagement, universal. Ready? Squeeze, pull back in. Your range of motion might be just a few inches. Butt and hamstrings, working with the core. Pull back in. 5 more. Here we go. 5. Ribs together. 4. Shoulders down. Woo! 3. Feel around. Make sure you've got tension down the midline. 2. Nothing in the hip flexors. It's all in the core. Woo! Last one. And you're out. Get on. Feet to the ground. Rinse it out one more time. Take that ball out. Stick it between the upper inner thighs. Let's give it a nice squeeze. Big breath. Exhale. Big breath. Exhale. Now, let's go ahead and go for a light bridge pose. Lift the hips. And notice what tends to want to happen here. We tend to want to tuck under the way we were doing those low belly sit-ups, right? And what happens then? We cut off the waist and we can't do a back bend. We end up like really curled around ourselves, collapsed. We get that pressure in the back. So squeeze the ball, scoop up, find your waist, send the pelvis and knees forward, lengthen. And look what just happened. My chest opened. I'm moving and making space right in my thoracic spine, that space kind of mid-shoulder blades just below, right, where it's always tense. Squeeze the ball. Shoulders down. Find your core. Close the ribs. Squeeze the ball 5 times. Use your legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're down. Big breath. We've got some butt lifts. Ready? Squeeze. Find your core. Things are scooping and moving forward at the same time that you're zipping up. 2 strong feet on the ground. My toes are not accidentally down there. Ready? Squeeze the ball once. 15 from mid booty. 1, 2, 3. And I'm not collapsing my waist. My waist is stable. My ribs are stable. My heart is staying nice and open. My shoulders are kind of smoothed out to the ground. Amazing. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're down. Take the ball out. Go ahead and hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself that little moment. You're gonna rock yourself right on it to sit. Bring your feet together, knees open. A couple little hula hoops with the waist there. So go ahead and just kind of move around it, hands onto your shins, and breathing. And reversing the direction, up and around, breathing. Nice big forward bend, abdominal move, back stretching. Like allow the back to glide with you, right? Feel this movement through here. And then you're gonna use your back. Let it lift you. Try that one more time. Big breath in, you're gonna roll forward. Allow the back to lengthen and then use the back. Let it contract and lift you. Kind of like a magical awakening, right? Take a gentle twist to the right. Go ahead and rotate around it. Other side, exhaling. Shoulder blades back, wrapping. Good. All right, one more thing on the ball. Take that ball, you're gonna stick it between your shoulder blades. Bra line, shoulder blades, somewhere right in there, okay? Sit-ups. Nice big breath in. Now, as soon as you take your elbows up here, it gets heavier. It's harder. You've added the weight of your arms. What needs to work now is your chest muscles and your lats and your armpits. So what tends to want to happen here, we all know, is we try to lift the head to take the weight off, and then we just get stuck here, right? What we want to feel is the empowerment of the upper abs. See what I just did? It's like this scooping up and around, what we were just doing with the ribs, but now we're asking them to weight bear, okay? So hands behind your head, really make a basket with those palms. Feet are far enough forward that I don't feel any grip in my hip flexors. 3 breaths, let's zero in on the core. Big inhale, Exhale. Good. 2 more. Feel like my hands are here drawing you down at the same time that you're pulling in and up. You will get a little tuck, okay? Again, like there's a safety pin between your ribs and your hips. Give it a little crunch. Find out if everything's engaging or if you've lost something and you're coning and losing pieces, right? Movement second, engagement first. We have 15 little crunches. You reset when you lose it, all right? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just squeezing. 7, 8, let it layer. We're in the last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now those were little tiny short crunches. Go ahead and relax your pelvis down, open up your chest, lean back. Hold on to your head with your hands, open the elbows, and let the chest open. So like I said, I'm super back bendy. You stop at your edge, okay? Breathe. I want you to breathe into the ball. 2 more. Breathe into the ball. 1 more. Exhale, engage your chest, upper abs, shoulder blades down your back. Use the ball, start to rotate yourself up. We're doing 15 more crunches with a little bit of a larger range of motion. Take one hand out of your belly, feel the core, feel what's engaged. Here we go. We're squeezing up and then come back and open. Squeeze up, come back and open. Start to feel how the back is responding to and working with this forward motion. We're getting flexion and extension. Woo! It's a whole nother level of core work. That's 8, 9, woo! Breathing, 10. You're in your last 5. If you want to change hands, change hands. We're breathing, resetting. Notice if you're getting grippy in the groin. Relax it, shake your booty. 4, 3, 2. I want you to see how much my ribs are opening and contracting. Last one, and release. 1 more back bend. All the way back over the ball. Let your armpits open. Exhale. Breathe into your chest. Like expand it like a balloon. Last one. Roll yourself on up 1 more time. You're going to go ahead and come all the way up to sit. I know. Take the ball to the side. You're coming out on the hands and knees now. So flip on over. Check it out. Back bending in your cat-cow, okay? So 2 strong hands underneath the fronts of your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, arch your spine, big breath. Now, feel the shoulder blades. Can you pinch the shoulder blades back? Open the chest as if the ball is there and you're just like leaning back into it. What we're doing is waking up round inside. What we're doing is waking up movement that is not originated in your neck and head. The neck and head go for the ride. They're not driving, okay? Wag your tail a little bit. Get the low back moving. Round inside again, exhaling. And then it's a downward facing dog. From there, go ahead and lift your way on back. Pedal it out. Nod your head up and down. Now, become aware of the armpit and lat line, right? So the muscles in your back. So what we were just using, I want you to let them stretch a little bit. Plug the shoulders into the body. Drop your head. Send your booty to the sky and let your belly pull into your body. Plank pose. Roll out on top of it. Push your heels back. Chest forward. Gather the waist. We're 3-dimensional. Feel the waist and the back working together. I'm going to pike it back, downward facing dog. Squeeze, rotate the ribs in the pelvis, drop your head. 2 more. Roll out plank. Exhale, hold it. Chest, ribs, belly, butt and thighs. Pike it back, rolling through it. Nice. 1 more. Exhaling. Chest, thighs, booty and core. Drop your knees, shrug your shoulder blades into your back. Take a breath, drop your butt, pick up the waist. We have 5 abdominal pump breaths. Ready? I'm pumping my belly button. Hold on to that. Rotate the eyes of your elbows forward. We have 5 tricep push-ups. So I'm using my biceps and my triceps, front of my arms, back of my arms. My shoulder blades are gliding. Yes, the shoulder blades coming into the back is what sets you up for the beginning of a back bend. Come all the way down this time. Woo. Shrug it around. Shoulders up, back, and around, up, back, and around. Tops of my toes on the ground. I'm going to find my low belly, so I'm not going to stick my butt out. Because you remember, a back bend is about the pelvis staying stable, shoulder blades coming together, pushing down, using my back, using my triceps, lifting my chest, as if the ball was still back there and I'm just leaning back. Now, this is not my head. It's my chest. Back to your hands and knees. It's a downward facing dog. Right leg, send it up as you breathe in. Round your body. Round. Place your foot. Good. Now we've got to unfurl. Drop the back knee. Extend your chest forward. Open up. Yeah. So what we're finding is that beautiful range of motion, the ability to really go into all these different directions. So from here, push on the ball or push on the right foot. My knee is not past my ankle. Arms up. Big breath. Exhale, lean back a little bit. Extend. That's different than collapsing my low back. I'm extending. Hands down to the ground. Pick up the left knee, pick up your right arm and twist. Both hands down to the ground. Plant your hands, lift the hips, and then take the foot back. Down dog. Paddle, climb. Plank pose, big breath. Knees down or one straight long piece. Lowering to the ground, exhale. Shoulder blades into your body. Feel your chest squeeze. Take your hands back a little bit further. Shrug your shoulder blades back. This time, maybe the hips lift. Woo. Squeeze and lift, heart up. Rolling back, downward facing dog as you exhale. It's your left leg. Send it up as you breathe in. Come on forward to step, exhaling. Right up through the center of your body. Place the foot. Drop the back knee. Have a moment. I'm not on my kneecap. I'm kind of on the front of my thigh. That's what allows me to put a little weight back there. I'm getting a really nice stretch through the right hip flexor. Arms up, big breath. And then I'm reaching my heart up. Like I've got suspenders behind my chest. Hands down to the ground. Picking up the right knee, pick up your left arm. Twist. Both hands to the ground, step forward. Nod your head up and down. Exhale out of your mouth. Roll yourself on up to stand, breathing in. Let's take it all for a test drive. Ready? Arms up by your ears, big breath. Open your arms wide. Interlace your hands behind your back. Shoulder blades, chest is open, but now the ribs are gonna come together. That's what takes us into the forward bend, the back elongating. Bend your knees, the back is contracting, right? Chest lifts, fingers to the ground, right leg goes back. Breathe with each other. Drop your back knee, crescent lunge, arms up, go for it. Feel that extension. Hands to the ground. Brace, round in, down dog. Pedal it out, climb, nod your head. It's a plank pose, big breath in. Chaturanga, upward facing dog. Take it on a test drive here. Up through. Let your pelvis be suspended. All right, that roll and restore we did last week, that just opens that gateway. Rounding back, downward facing dog. Right leg, send it up, big breath. Come forward, step. It's a warrior one. Here's what it looks like. Left heel hits the ground. My feet are hip distance apart. They're not too narrow. My back is gonna work. Arms up. There we go. Standing down into it, you can really start to feel how the back helps you lift. Ribs are in and together. Arms are up by your ears. You're breathing in. Strong back leg. One more. Big inhale. Big exhale. It's a peaceful warrior. You're going to take that left arm, tip it all the way back. Heart up. Heart's leading. So I'm not collapsing in my low back. Hands to the ground. Low lunge. Look forward. Free neck. Step forward. Drop your head. Come on up. Arms up. Big breath. Open your arms wide. Interlace your hands behind you. Lift your chest. It's a forward bend as you exhale. Nice. Fingers to the ground. Bend your knees. Left leg leads the way back. Drop the knee. Arms up. Crescent lunge. Extend the waist as it wraps around you. Hands down to the ground. Round in. There's the abs. Downward facing dog. Plank pose. Big breath. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Take it away. Rising up. Downward, that's a back contraction. You can see it. Different than kind of pinching and squeezing my low back. I'm engaging my back. Round in. Left leg, send it up. Come forward. We're hitting a warrior one. So I planted my feet, right foot to the ground. Use your back muscles with your chest. You're rising up. It's a warrior one as you stand into it. Beautiful. One more. Big breath in. Big exhale. It's a peaceful warrior. You're tipping up and back as you exhale. Hands down to the ground. It's a low lunge. Take your time with it. From there, you're going to look forward. Open up your chest. You're stepping forward. 2 feet on the ground, dropping down. Nod your head up and down. Come on up to stand. Breathing your arms up. Grab that left wrist. Your side bending to the right. Exhaling. Other side. Side bending. Exhaling. Back up you go. Interlace your hands behind your back. Lift your chest, and then it's a big forward bend as you breathe out all the way down. Nod your head up and down. Fingers down to the ground. Now try this on to jump back. You're going to plant your hands on the ground, shoulder blades back, because you feel kind of that light back bend here. And that's what's going to help you use your chest when you jump. Back, right? I stayed open in the chest. It didn't just go on the tops of my shoulders. Pedal it out. Plank pose. Knees down. Take a moment. You're going to take your arms a little bit wider. Pelvis forward, core in, shoulders broad. Go ahead. We have 5 push-ups. Here we go. 1, feel the back working with the front. Feel your chest squeeze. Last 2. Last 1. And a child's pose. Hips to your heels, drop it back, exhaling and release. Beautiful. One more big breath in. Big exhale. Come on up. We're going to build this out. I'm putting my forearms on the ground. You're going to go ahead and grab your ball again, okay? So ball is coming up. I just want you for a second. It's going to be too narrow to start, but I just want you to feel what it is to have the ball between your elbows. Okay, feel that squeeze. It's too narrow for what we're going to do, but I want you to feel how that engages the inseam of your arm, the armpit, and the chest, okay? So just kind of give it a little squeeze. You're like, okay, I feel my upper arms, not just the fronts of my shoulders, right? Take the ball away. Then your hands are going out parallel, super parallel. Thumb and index finger, glue them to the ground. Elbows right underneath your shoulders. Now, as if the ball was still there, squeeze. There you go. Knees are back underneath my hips. Arch for a cat-cow. Feel that extension, like this yearning of the heart center forward. Now, transverse abdominals, round in. Not because the back is gripping, because the back is working with the front. Lift your armpits. Again, breathe in. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Shoulder blades glide back. Feel that yearning and length. Round in. Good. Feel big extension in my triceps. Pause as you reach forward. My chest is open. My elbows are engaged. I'm engaged in my triceps. Tuck your toes, drop your head, lift your hips. You're in a forearm down dog. Just be there for a second. Feel how that yawns open the armpits. Okay. Look forward and move forward. Shoulders over my arms, over my elbows, engaged in my back. Core up. Walk your feet forward. Just try it on. Lift your right leg. See what happens. Little hop. Other side. Left leg. Little hop. Take a break. Take a breath. Come back and join me one more round. If this is your happy place, go for it. Forearm stand. We're meeting in a child's pose. Both knees on the ground. Dropping it back, exhaling. Exhaling again. And rolling yourself on up. You're going to come up onto your shins. I hear you. I see your faces. Don't worry. It might be a future imaginary pose that you achieve. I'll tell you my forearm stand story in a second. Right now, you're on your shins. Feet are on the ground, knees are underneath you, hands are on your low back. Shoulder blades come together, elbows come together. My fingers are pointing down my butt, okay? Heels of my hands on my sacrum. I'm just lifting my chest. Just feel that space. And I'm gonna open my hands and keep encouraging my pelvis down, lifting my chest, and just get a little space. Good. If you're like, okay, I've got the room, go ahead. Take a hand. I just have my left hand down, right arm over my head. Little side bend. Back up. I'm using my waist. Other side. Right hand down, left arm up. Oh, yes, please. And back up you go as you exhale. Come on down. You're going to have a seat. And then roll onto your back. So forearm stand. In yoga school, studying forearm stand. And oh my God, I would do it every day. I would come to my mat. I'd put my forearms on the ground. Rock your knees from side to side. I'd lift my butt up into the air. I'd lift one leg. And nothing would happen. And that's my forearm stand. I did that, I swear to God, every day for like a year. And one day, the second leg lifted and I was in forearm stand. And I came down and I think I called somebody. It's like, I just did forearm stand. The baby steps. Palms down to the ground, shoulders to the ground, big breath. It's like once we become lift your hips. Now, what we're going to feel is a half wheel. I'll finish that story in just a second. Rock your shoulders underneath you. So I've got a really nice stretch going on in my shoulders and my neck right now. I'm not going to turn my head. Interlace your hands and extend your elbows. Extend the pubic bone forward, but squeeze your butt and thighs a little bit. That's what you're standing on. 2 strong feet on the ground. Lift your chest. Let it stretch your neck. Oh, yes, please. And then open up those arms and roll on down. Whew, it's like once we become mothers, it's like that, I think, patience to try something every single day, like to allow yourself to be on the journey of learning, goes away. It's like suddenly the pressure to be perfect is so all-consuming because a mistake in our like hind mom brain means like the catastrophe, right? It's like, what if you were just still on the journey of learning? You just show up and you lift a leg and nothing happens. And you're like, well, that was my mothering today. Hands up by your shoulders, elbows in. All right. If you get here and you're like, no flipping way, Rachel, what is wrong with you? You put your arms back down here and I want you to do that half wheel. If a full wheel was once upon a time in your practice, or you're curious if you can still do it, elbows in, pushing down into your feet, pushing down into your hands, elongate the spine. I want you to see that my limbs did not leave the ground. My toes did not leave the ground. My head is relaxed. My ribs are rotated. To come down, I'm reversing the equation. Chin in, triceps and biceps, just like those chaturangas, and I'm rolling down. My feet never left their footprints. And that's how you back bend. It's that easy. Right ankle over your left knee, pull it on in, figure 4, take a breath. Take an exhale. I just want you to notice how you feel in your lungs and chest right now, right? Take a lot of space, probably unexpectedly. Go ahead and extend your left leg and just sort of reach to that hamstring for a moment. And then switch sides. Figure 4, bring it in. Just allow the sacrum to release, all the energy of the hips. Right leg long. Back bending is a beautiful evolution. Instead of I'm super back bendy, my evolution with it was actually in wrapping it with strength. Right? I used to just throw myself into back bends, and like my low back would always hurt, like in my 20s. I'm like, well, I was back bending. It's like, oh, no, not quite. Catch the outer edges of your feet, happy baby. If this is too much for you, you can hold on down here onto your thighs, right? And just feel the shoulders release. You can get down into those hip sockets and inner thighs. Stretch both legs up towards the ceiling. A baby plow pose. So if you've got neck stuff, like maybe like right in here is enough, okay? Feel like, oh, I think I could play around with that. Go ahead and start to work your way up, Just a nice little stretch on the shoulders. My neck is super relaxed and passive. I'm using my waist, pushing into my toes a little. Good. And then I'm going to use my arms on the ground, use my core, and gently roll back down my spine and roll all the way up to sit. Left leg, oh, both legs straight out in front of you. Rock a little side to side, arms up. Exhale, forward bend. An abdominal move and a back move together. Big exhale. And roll yourself on up from there. Oh my gosh. Whew. Just have a moment. Feel your chest, feel your back. And as you go out in your day, take with you this three-dimensional concept of you, right? That your chest can be lifted and proud. Your back holds you up, right? We were talking about that last week, like water energy and winter energy. That all is in your back, runs up and down your spine. That you have this strength, like of your ancestral energy, of lifting you from your kidneys up to the base of your shoulder blades. You just feel that space for your heart to beat freely. With that, I wish you the most wonderful rest of your Thursday. Happy Valentine's Day. I won't see you before then. And I just wish you bliss and happiness. So I will see you next week.